Discover how a simple waitress heartwarming remark led to an unexpected life-changing moment for a war veteran. Lisa hurried through the cozy diner, the rich aroma of pancakes and sizzling bacon wrapping around her like a warm hug. In the midst of a bustling Tuesday morning, she smiled at the regulars, knowing their names and struggles like her own heartbeat. She could feel the weight of responsibility pressing down on her shoulders. With a mother battling illness and younger siblings looking up to her, her dreams of becoming a nurse felt like distant stars twinkling just out of reach. But she poured coffee with a grin, listening to the stories of her patrons, offering a salve for their worries as best as she could. That morning, a new face arrived: Tom, a war veteran, clutching a weathered cap with a distant look in his eyes. He slid onto a stool at the counter, cast aside by the world. As Lisa placed a plate of golden pancakes in front of him, she noticed the shadows lurking behind his gaze. She mustered her warmth, leaning into the comfort of her role. "Hey there. How's your morning so far?" she asked, her voice a soft melody amidst the clattering dishes. Tom exhaled sharply, his shoulders slumping. "Just trying to make sense of things," he muttered. Lisa's heart sank. "You know, a lot of folks come here to escape their troubles. You're not alone." As her words spilled out, she felt a connection ignite. "Everyone has value, you know. We all have a story." His typically furrowed brows lifted as he shared how lonely he felt since returning home, forgotten, like an old photograph tucked behind a dusty frame. Lisa reached across the counter, her fingertips brushing the edge of his plate. "You matter, Tom. Just like every pancake we serve, each one's unique." Before long, the diner was buzzing. The warmth of their conversation spilled over to the other patrons, sparking laughter and storytelling. Faces softened as they shared their burdens: the loss of jobs, the struggle to make ends meet, the weariness of everyday life. Within those walls, everyone felt seen, if only for a fleeting moment. Then, just as hope began to fill the air, a bombshell dropped. The local factory, the heart of their town, announced massive layoffs. A chill swept through the diner. Gasps echoed. Lisa's own worries flooded back. Her family needed her. She clenched her jaw, fighting the wave of despair. A job offer from a big hospital in the city lingered in her mind, a glimmer of financial relief, but it would take her away from those who relied on her love and spirit. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. But their gathering was threatened further. Another blow was on the horizon. A wealthy businesswoman eyed the diner, intent on transforming it into a bland corporate chain, disregarding the history and bonds built over countless cups of coffee. Lisa's heart sank at the thought of losing this sanctuary, the place where hearts intertwined over shared meals. Fueled by the spirits of her patrons and her own love for the community, Lisa felt a fire ignite within her. They had each shared pieces of their lives. How could she stand by and watch it vanish? As the diner filled with newfound resolve, emotions swirled. Lisa gathered them, casting a vision of unity against adversity. Just when it seemed like hope was dawning, an unexpected visitor stepped into the diner. All eyes turned toward the entrance, eager and worried. What could this mean for them? In that profound silence, Lisa felt the weight of destiny shift, the threads of their lives entwined in a moment that could change everything. Would they rise together? Or would they be torn apart by the relentless tide of change? The door creaked open, and the chatter faded into a stunned silence. A tall woman with silver-streaked hair and an elegant coat stepped into the diner. She carried an air of authority that seemed to fill the room. All eyes were on her as she surveyed the space. Lisa felt her heart race. "Is this where the community gathers?" the woman asked, her voice smooth but firm. "Yes, ma'am," Lisa replied, stepping forward despite her nerves. "We come together to share meals and stories, and support one another." The woman nodded thoughtfully, but her eyes were sharp, scanning every corner. "I'm Samantha Collins. I represent a company interested in revitalizing this neighborhood. We believe there's potential to transform this beloved diner into something modern." Dread clutched at Lisa's stomach like an iron fist. She could practically hear the crumbling of dreams in her ears. "But what we have here is special. It's not about modernity, it's about community," she protested, her voice tinged with desperation. Samantha paused, taking in Lisa's defiance. "I get it. You all have your routines and bonds. But trust me, change can bring growth. What if I offered you a role in the new venture? This diner could become part of something bigger." Lisa blinked. The thought was tempting, it danced on the edge of her fears. Could she really take a step into the unfamiliar? The weight of her family's needs loomed over her like a storm cloud. And lose the heart of what's already here? She whispered, glancing at Tom, who was sitting quietly, the light of hope dimming in his eyes. Tom suddenly spoke up, his voice breaking through the tension. "You can't just replace history with shiny countertops and fancy menus. People need a place to feel seen, heard, loved." The intensity in his voice surprised even him, but there was a truth resonating in the diner. Heads nodded in agreement. Samantha looked at Tom, then at Lisa, clearly weighing her options. "I see you all have a bond," she said slowly. "But the community here is struggling. Without change, it might not survive at all." A murmur of dissent rose from the patrons. "You can't put a price on feelings," whispered one elderly man. "This diner is our home." Lisa's heart swelled with pride for the community she was part of, but fear gripped her too. What if they lost it all? What if we can create a solution together? Lisa proposed, feeling a surge of courage. What if we could find a way to grow without losing the essence of what we are? Samantha looked intrigued, the lines on her face softening slightly. "I haven't thought about working alongside you. Perhaps we could explore options." Before the word settled, the diner's door swung open again. This time, it was a group of younger voices filled with laughter, the noise swirling around them with energy. "Hey, did you hear about the layoffs at the factory?" one of them exclaimed, completely oblivious to the tension swirling in the room. "Our friends are worried. We should do something." Lisa caught Samantha's gaze, and in that moment, she saw the possibility of uniting their efforts. "We can gather support," Lisa said, her mind racing, "organize food drives, raise funds, bring back the community spirit. Not through a corporation, but through each other." As excitement blossomed, a spark ignited hope. Lisa felt the weight lift, replaced by the strength of collective resolve, but just as they began to brainstorm ideas, Lisa caught Tom staring out the window, a shadow once again creeping across his face. She knew there were deeper battles yet to face. Would they really have the power to shape their future together, with every heartbeat, possibilities tangled with uncertainty? Would they embrace this challenge, or would their efforts slip away like so many missed opportunities? As questions hung in the air, the heart of the diner thumped louder, echoing their hopes, fears, and the unknown path ahead. "Let us brainstorm how we can do this," Lisa urged, her words spilling out as she felt the atmosphere crackle with possibility. "What if we set up a community event, a fundraiser right here? Invite everyone to share what they love about the diner, what it means to them." Tom shifted, his eyes finally breaking from the window, the shadow on his face lifting just a bit. "Yes, we could have local musicians, maybe a potluck. Everyone can bring their best dish." He sounded more animated, and Lisa could see a flicker of excitement igniting within him. Samantha's posture shifted slightly as she listened, intrigued by this side of the community she hadn't fully appreciated before. "And you think this will show me that the diner has potential without major changes?" Lisa nodded fervently. "Absolutely. People will come, they want to contribute. We can create a space that celebrates everything we already are, while still moving forward. The younger crowd, still buoyant from their earlier news, began to discuss things among themselves. What if we made it a weekly thing? A community night where we can invite everyone to come together? We can share stories, and start to build something that is ours, one of them suggested. Lisa felt a knot in her stomach slowly loosen. The energy in the room began to shift as new ideas flowed. The initial tension dissipated like morning mist, replaced by laughter and chatter. But as her mind raced with potential, Lisa couldn't shake Tom's earlier disquiet. What was he hiding behind that brave face? Tom, Lisa said gently, drawing him aside. I know this is all exciting, but I can see something else bothering you. What is it? He hesitated, his fingers tapping nervously against the table. Finally, he sighed, running a hand through his hair, revealing his vulnerability. I'm afraid it won't matter. Even if we have this fundraiser, the factory layoffs, that could affect all of us. I can feel everything slipping away. Lisa's heart sank. She had been so focused on the diner, she hadn't considered the bigger picture. You're right, she admitted softly. But if we don't take this chance, then what? We have to try. For everyone. Samantha approached the two of them, a thoughtful expression on her face. If you're seriously considering this, I can help. I can reach out to local businesses, get them to donate supplies. Maybe even bring some of our team to help with organizing. The offer filled the air with renewed hope. Lisa looked at Tom, and though his eyes held the weary stubbornness of someone who had faced too many storms, there was also a flicker of hope. Let us do it, Tom said finally, voice steadying. Let us show everyone what this diner means, what this community means. The diner's air buzzed with excitement again as ideas flowed rapidly. Lisa could almost see the spirit of the diner manifesting in every conversation, every smile. But even as the plans fell into place, a hollow part of her felt the shadow of uncertainty remain. Could they truly rally their community in time? What if Samantha's support came with strings attached? As the chatter grew, it revealed a tapestry of stories and faces, and amidst that warmth, Lisa felt a heart-wrenching thought claw at her chest. What if their efforts weren't enough? The diner's heart pulsed with hope, yet beneath the surface lurked the heavy weight of doubt. Would they find a way to rise above, or would their dreams dissolve into a bittersweet ending? The possibilities danced in the air, but the challenge loomed larger with each heartbeat. Lisa sat at the cluttered table, surrounded by the swirling energy of possibilities. Her heart raced as ideas bounced around the room. Each suggestion fueled her spirit, but the weight of uncertainty still pressed on her chest, making it hard to breathe. Tom, now engaged, animatedly pitched ideas with the group. His laughter rang out, but Lisa still sensed that hidden worry flickering in his eyes. She couldn't ignore that nagging feeling. What if the fundraiser wasn't enough? The thought gnawed at her, but she pushed it down, trying to focus on the positive. Samantha's phone buzzed and she grabbed it, glancing at the screen with a frown. Hey, I have to take this, she said, stepping away. Lisa watched her go, wondering if any of this was real. Could they really pull it off? She stood up, needing space to think. The diner was filling with familiar faces, the aroma of fresh coffee intermingling with the hope of friendship. As she made her way to the back, she overheard a few snippets of conversations, plans for food, decorations, games for the kids. It filled her with a sense of warmth. But then she caught a glimpse of Tom across the room, deep in a whispered conversation with one of the other patrons. His brow furrowed, he appeared lost in thought. The fleeting smile on his face vanished as quickly as it had come, replaced by that same shadow. Something was definitely bothering him. Tom, Lisa called out, approaching him again. You okay? Oh, hey Lisa, he replied, his tone bright but forced. Just talking about the fundraiser. Really? She pressed a little, wanting to pry open that door he kept shutting. You seem a little distant. He hesitated again, and in that pause, his vulnerability stood stark against the clamor around them. It's just I really want this to work. With everything happening at the factory, people are relying on the diner, on each other, and I'm scared it won't be enough. She could feel her heart tighten. Tom, we can't predict the future. But what we can do is create a moment, even a single night, where people feel connected, even if it's just for a little while. That's worth something, isn't it? He looked at her, a blend of hope and fear flickering in his expression. Yeah, but what if it doesn't fix anything? Then we try again. Together. Life isn't about one single moment. It's about how we move forward from each one. Just then, the door swung open, and in walked Hilda, the local baker. She had a smile that ignited warmth in the dim diner as she waved, carrying boxes filled with pastries. Hey, everyone! Just dropping off some goodies for the fundraiser. The room lit up. Laughter echoed as others rushed to her side, eager to help carry everything. Lisa watched Hilda with admiration. There it was, the spirit of community, unshakable even in hard times. As people rallied around Hilda, Lisa felt a flicker of belief rekindle within her. Maybe they could do this. Maybe they could lift each other up, even if just for a night. Tom glanced at her, and for the first time, there was a glint of hope in his eyes. You know, I think you might be right. Suddenly, the chatter rose to a pitch of enthusiasm, and the diner's familiar hum began to transform into something powerful. Yet in her gut, that familiar flutter of anxiety returned. The community was coming together, but would it be enough? Just as Lisa felt a glimmer of peace, Samantha walked back with a clipboard, her expression serious. Listen, I just spoke to the owner of the local grocery store, and he had some bad news. All eyes turned to her, and Lisa's heart skipped a beat. What could it be? What new challenge lay ahead? Samantha cleared her throat, the tension in the air palpable as everyone leaned in closer. The grocery store is cutting back their donations this month. They said they're having issues, too. Her words hung in the air, heavy and disheartening. Lisa felt the optimism from just moments ago start to drain away. What does that mean for the fundraiser? She asked, even though she already feared the answer. It means less food for the event, Samantha replied, her eyes darting around as if seeking support. We need to rethink our budget. If we lose that, the whole thing could fall apart. The room fell silent. Lisa could see concern etched on everyone's faces. Tom's expression shifted again, mirroring the vulnerability that had slipped back into the conversation. But this is our chance to really make a difference, especially with everything that's going on. We can't let this set us back. Exactly, Hilda chimed in, her warm smile fading to a serious line. There's still time. We can find other local farms or bakeries willing to pitch in. People in this town love to help each other. But doubt flickered in Lisa's mind. Will it be enough? It feels like we're fighting an uphill battle, and what if the community isn't as eager to contribute this time? She could sense a ripple of tension in the group, as if Lisa had cast doubt on the fiery enthusiasm that had just ignited them. We can't think like that, Tom said firmly, taking a step toward her. We have to believe in the strength of our community. If we all just do a little, it will add up. Lisa nodded, but her heart felt heavy. She recalled the faces of families who depended on the diner, the laughter that echoed through these walls. Would they see that laughter again, or would it fade away like smoke? As they brainstormed ways to rally support, Lisa watched Samantha moving through the crowd, her clipboard now busy with names and potential donations. The urgency in Samantha's movement showcased her determination, igniting something in Lisa. Let us put together a list of local businesses, stores that might not have been hit as hard. I'll reach out to my contacts and see if we can gather food donations from anywhere we can, Lisa finally said, the decision buoying her spirits slightly. The team huddled closer, voices rising in excitement as plans began to materialize. It felt like a wave washing over them, pushing back their fears, one idea at a time, but just as momentum began to build, a thought gnawed at Lisa. What if it still wasn't enough? What if despite all their efforts, they still couldn't make the impact they yearned for? Then, out of the blue, an unexpected voice cut through her worries. What if we allowed folks to share stories about why this diner matters to them? A story booth or something? Suggested one of the younger patrons. It could bring in crowds, make people realize what's at stake. Lisa's heart leapt at the idea. Perhaps an emotional pull would unite them all. That's brilliant, she replied, enthusiasm rekindling. We could invite everyone to share how the diner has touched their lives. It's all about connection. By sharing those moments, we remind everyone what this is for. As excitement blossomed anew, Lisa could feel a shift in her heart. This wasn't just about fundraising anymore. It was about preserving a community's spirit, but before they could further explore this idea, Samantha's phone buzzed again, and her face fell sharply. The air turned thick with anticipation. I need to take this one, too. I have a feeling it's about the fundraiser. With her heart racing, Lisa exchanged worried glances with Tom. What more could possibly happen? What other challenge awaited them now? Samantha stepped outside for a moment to take the call. The door closed behind her, leaving the group in a cocoon of holding breath. Lisa could see the tension in the others' eyes. It was as if they were all waiting for the ground beneath them to drop away. Tom quickly filled the silence. We need to regroup, think through this. What's our next move? Lisa nodded, still buzzing from the story booth idea, but she couldn't shake that gnawing doubt. We need people. What if they don't show up? It's going to take heart. A lot of heart, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Yeah, but look at how quickly we came up with ideas. Hilda chimed in, her expression lighting up momentarily. If everyone here puts in a little elbow grease, we can make it work. Let us start reaching out right now. Just then, Samantha re-entered the diner, her complexion pale and eyes wide. That was the grocery store, she said, breathless. They're officially cutting all donations, not just ours. The air shifted again. Lisa's heart sank as the truth sank in too. Reality was hitting them like a sledgehammer. What do we do now? She asked, her confidence vanishing faster than the promise of hope had appeared moments before. Tom slammed a fist onto the table, startling everyone. We've still got each other. We'll organize a town meeting and invite everyone to discuss it. We'll rally support. Let us not let a setback defeat us. A small silence settled over the room, as Lisa and the others took in the weight of Tom's words. The realization of how much they relied on each other washed over her like a warm blanket. Okay, let us do it, she said finally, newfound determination building up within her. Let us call a meeting and turn this around. As they planned, the ideas flowed a bit easier now. Each suggestion brought a spark of hope. Lisa pictured the stories that could connect them all: the former waitress who brought joy to tired souls, the family who found refuge in the diner during tough times, and the elderly couple who had met over plates of hot pancakes all those years ago. Imagine the stories we could collect, Lisa said as her mind raced. It could be more than just a fundraiser. It could be a tapestry of our community. Hilda leaned in closer, excitement coloring her features. We could even compile a book, maybe even sell copies to support future events. The prospect lit a fire in the room as they shared various ideas on how to create this storytelling celebration. Lisa felt a rush of adrenaline. She could already envision families gathering, exchanging stories and laughter, and rekindling connections, but just as their enthusiasm peaked, Samantha's phone buzzed again. This time, the tension felt like a thick curtain dropping around them. I just got a message from the owner of that bakery down the street, the one that was hit hard. I don't think it's good news, she hesitated, glancing out at the now dim evening sky as if it held the answer. Heart pounding, Lisa braced herself. How much more could they take? What awaited them on this next call? Maybe it's time to start thinking outside the box, she whispered to herself, but the fear gnawed at her again, leaving a pit in her stomach. What if their ideas weren't enough? What if they fell short yet again? Let us hear it, Tom said, looking intently at Samantha. Anxiety shimmered in the air as they all held their breath for what could sway the tide of their hopes one more time. Samantha's hands trembled slightly as she unlocked the phone, the screen lighting up her anxious face. She took a deep breath, trying to steady her voice. She said they're closing for good. A gasp filled the diner. Lisa's heart raced. The weight of those words hit like a gust of cold wind. The bakery was more than a business, it was a gathering spot for the community. Families celebrated birthdays there. Friends shared coffee and secrets. Closing for good? Hilda echoed, disbelief etched into her features. But what about all those people who depend on it? Tom leaned forward, his brow furrowed. Are they just throwing in the towel? There must be a way to support them, unite our efforts. Lisa felt a jolt of determination. Turning to Samantha, she asked, what does the owner say we can do? Can we help them even a little? Samantha shook her head, frustration evident in her voice. She's lost hope. All those donations we were counting on, they were sustaining her. Without that, I don't know what'll happen. She feels like no one cares anymore. A heavy silence descended, punctuated only by the clinking of coffee cups. Lisa glanced around the table, where each member wore a look of mounting concern. This wasn't just about them anymore. It was about the lives that were intertwined with the diner, their stories tied together like threads in a tapestry. Maybe, just maybe, we need to show everyone that we do care, Lisa proposed, her idea blossoming as she spoke. What if we partner with the bakery? We can turn this storytelling event into something bigger. We can amplify their voices too. Like a community rally? Tom suggested, excitement flickering in his eyes. A day where everyone brings their stories, and we combine it with their favorite treats from the bakery. We can give people a reason to come together and support one another. Hilda jumped in, her enthusiasm infectious. Yes. We can create a Save Our Bakery campaign alongside the storytelling. Local businesses could donate, we could organize live music, it could be a festival. As the ideas flowed, Lisa watched a spark ignite in everyone. Their hearts raced with newfound hope. The prospect of turning despair into unity had become their lifeline. They could uplift the bakery's closure into an open call for support, transforming it into a celebration of community resilience, but a sudden weight pressed upon Lisa. What if they couldn't pull it off? What if all this energy led to yet another disappointment? The doubt clawed at her insides, whispering insecurity. However, she couldn't let it show. We'll need volunteers. Promotions. We need to reach out to every corner of this town, she reminded them, her voice steadier than she felt. Samantha nodded, her expression shifting from despair to purpose. I can talk to the owner. Maybe we can get her on board, get her to share her story. It might light a fire in her heart again. Tom looked around at the group with pride. This is it. We're all in this together. No half measures. Let us get to work. With that, the collective energy surged, ideas flowing like coffee in a bustling diner. Lisa felt the warmth of hope rising again, mixing with determination. They were turning their sorrow into a catalyst for change. Yet, just as plans started wrapping up, Samantha's phone buzzed again. The hum of anticipation swept the room as each person turned to look at her expectantly. It's the bakery owner, she said, hesitating before answering. Lisa's heart raced. What awaited them on the other end of the line? Would this call be the turning point they all desperately hoped for, or another twist in their struggle? Samantha took a deep breath, her thumb hovering over the phone screen as she answered. The buzzing atmosphere in the diner fell silent, everyone leaning closer, hanging on her every word. Hi, Mrs. Johnson. Yes, we've just heard about the closure. Lisa felt her heart pounding in her chest. She could see the tension coursing through Samantha's body. As Samantha listened, her expression fluctuated: confusion, concern, and then an unexpected glimmer of hope. "We really want to help. Yes, we can organize an event. I believe it'll gather the community." The room buzzed with whispers and shuffling feet, as Lisa edged closer to hear. She caught snippets of Samantha's conversation, each word igniting her hopes. When Samantha finally hung up, the silence was electric. "They're willing to talk," she exclaimed, excitement mingled with relief. "Mrs. Johnson said she hasn't completely given up, we just need to show her that people care. She's afraid no one will show up if we set something up, though." "Then we need to show her they will," Lisa declared boldly. "This isn't just about saving the bakery. It's about rekindling that sense of community we all used to have. Gathering people, sharing stories, that's what this is all about." "Right," Tom said, rising to his feet with renewed determination shining in his eyes. "Let's do this, but we need to make it big. We need to plan every single detail." Hilda chimed in, coordinating the thinking. "Okay, let's draw out a list. Who can help with food? We can talk to the local farmers for fresh produce to make it more appealing. I can reach out to some musicians I know. Music. Yes, live music is a must." Lisa enthused, her mind racing. "And we can add some storytelling booths where people share their memories about the bakery. It could remind everyone of why it matters." Samantha, feeling the momentum, finally smiled. "I'll set up a social media event. We can use hashtags to spread the word. Hashtags like Save Our Bakery and Together for Johnson's Bakery." As ideas blossomed, the atmosphere shifted palpably. The diner was now charged with energy and possibility. Each member of the team took on roles, jumping into action. Some made calls, others penned flyers, while a few mapped out logistics. Laughter and chatter filled the room, replacing the tense silence that had loomed not long before. Despite this whirlwind of activity, a lingering doubt lost in the back of Lisa's mind wouldn't budge. What if their best efforts still weren't enough? She pushed the thought aside. They were doing something. At least they were trying. Hours flew by as they planned, and by the time the sun dipped below the horizon, the diner was filled with a sense of purpose. It lingered in the air like the aroma of fresh brewed coffee. Before anyone left, Lisa took a moment to gather her thoughts, looking each friend in the eye. "Remember why we're doing this. It's about more than just a bakery. It's about community, hope, and love. We can't forget that." As they piled out of the diner, energized and spirited, something cool brushed against Lisa's neck. A sudden gust of wind carried the scent of fresh pastries into her soul, reminding her of how special the bakery was. But just as she stepped onto the sidewalk, Samantha's phone buzzed again. Another message. "It's from Mrs. Johnson," she said, breathless. She's worried about something. An uneasy knot formed in Lisa's stomach. What could it be? Was there more at stake than they realized? Samantha's hands trembled slightly as she opened the message. The moment hung in the air, thick with uncertainty. "She's concerned about funding," she read aloud, her voice barely above a whisper. "Mrs. Johnson mentioned, the costs involved in making the event happen might be too high." A collective sigh swept through the group. Lisa felt the knot in her stomach tighten. They had already considered so much, but funding? That almost felt like a mountain they were now being asked to climb. "Great," Tom said, crossing his arms as frustration seeped into his voice. "We can't help save the bakery if we're strapped for cash." "Wait a second," Hilda interjected, a spark igniting in her eyes. "What if we turned this into a fundraiser? Everyone knows and loves that bakery. We could charge a small entry fee, and maybe have local businesses sponsor the event? Like a bake sale?" Samantha suggested. "But bigger. We could sell baked goods, crafts, and maybe have a raffle." "Yes!" Lisa exclaimed, the spark of hope flickering back to life. We can reach out to the community for donations. Everyone has something to contribute. Perhaps those musicians Hilda knows could play for free, too. It all builds the excitement. Hilda smiled, her enthusiasm bubbling. And we could have a competition. The best decorated cake or a pie-eating contest. Winners get a free pastry for a month or something. With ideas flowing, they lit upon a slew of possibilities. Each one seemed to breathe fresh life into the struggling spirits around the diner table. They sketched out plans and set positions. Samantha could handle the social media promotion, Hilda could coordinate food donations, Tom could reach out to local businesses, and Lisa would put together a schedule of activities. "Let us get started right away," Tom said, his voice steadying as the passion in the room became palpable. "We can't waste a minute." As night fell over the diner, they began organizing their efforts, a flurry of laughter and urgency replacing the doubt. Lisa felt a warmth bloom in her chest, a sense of purpose that pushed her fears aside. But just as she felt a rush of optimism surge through her, she remembered Mrs. Johnson's worry. What if they brought it all together, only to fall short again? Samantha caught Lisa's gaze, sensing the apprehension. "You okay?" she asked softly. I hope it's enough. If we do this and fail, it'll break her heart." The thought was heavy on Lisa's spirit. Despite the laughter, a shadow lingered in her mind, the fear of unpredictable outcomes. "Then we make sure it's not just good enough," Samantha replied, determination glistening in her eyes. "We make it unforgettable." Motivation surged again among them, and as they worked, their small diner felt more like a hub of change than ever. Days passed as Lisa and the team chased after donations, gathered supplies, scoured local businesses for support, and spread the word. The energy was a flurry, transforming the community. It was no longer just about saving a bakery, it became a movement fueled by hope and unity. The planned day was rapidly approaching. They were exhausted, but their hearts were light with anticipation. Then it came the last message from Mrs. Johnson. This time, it was different. "Let us meet. Please. I want to discuss something important." Samantha looked at Lisa, biting her lip in concern. "What do you think she wants to say?" An anxious whisper rippled through the group. With everything they had put into this venture, could her fears instead bring about a turning point? Whatever lay ahead, one thing was clear, they were in for something big. But was it enough? More than they had ever expected? They'd soon find out. The day arrived, vibrant and buzzing with energy. The sun bathed the diner in a warm glow, illuminating the smiling faces of the community members who had come together for one purpose, to celebrate their roots, to stand united, and to support one another. Lisa stood at the entrance, her heart racing as she observed the throngs of people streaming in. Families, friends, young and old, were all converging on their beloved diner. She felt an overwhelming sense of pride wash over her. This was at the moment they had fought for. The place that had been a refuge for so many, a canvas for memories, was alive with purpose. As she moved through the crowd, she was greeted with hugs and familiar smiles. Tom, standing beside Hilda near a table stacked with baked goods, flashed her a beaming grin filled with excitement. "Look at this!" he exclaimed, gesturing to the plethora of cakes and pastries donated by the community. "People truly care." Lisa nodded, her eyes shimmering with tears of joy. "We did this together," she said, the weight of their shared struggles lifting, replaced by a buoyant hope. The thought of not just saving the bakery but fostering connections amongst the community ignited in her heart. Samantha stood nearby, directing volunteers, her clipboard proving vital in the chaotic but delightful swirl of activity. "We have to keep things moving. We'll kick off the first storytelling session in 10 minutes. She called out. As the time approached, Lisa stepped back, her breath catching at the sight of Tom stepping up to the mic. His face, once shadowed by war and solitude, now radiated warmth. "I just wanted to share a couple of words before we begin. None of us come here alone. We are here because we are not just a community, we're family. The crowd stirred, nodding and murmuring their agreement. We've been through tough times together, but it's our shared histories, our stories, that keep us going. This diner isn't just a place to eat, it's where we find each other. The applause was thunderous, echoing against the diner walls, each clap a heartbeat pumping life into their cause. Lisa felt her heart lift, echoing the love and admiration filling the room. Under the warm glow of string lights, laughter and stories interwove like strands of a tapestry, each narrative a testament to community resilience. Children giggled over contests while grandparents recounted old memories, and neighbors connected through shared laughter. The atmosphere swirled with life, bustling excitement igniting them all. Suddenly, amidst the whispers of camaraderie, Lisa spotted Mrs. Johnson, standing quietly near the back, watching the joyous commotion. Their eyes met, and Lisa's heart skipped. Would she finally feel the community's love? Determined, Lisa approached her. "Mrs. Johnson," she called gently, "what do you think?" Mrs. Johnson's eyes shimmered, softened by a sense of belonging. "I never thought I would feel this again," she whispered, her voice cracking with emotion. "A part of me thought it was all over." "Look at what we've created," Lisa replied, gesturing to the lively scene around them, the shared stories and laughter enveloping them like a warm blanket. "This is just the beginning." Mrs. Johnson's gaze shifted, swelling with disbelief and hope. "You've shown me that people still care, that this community has a heartbeat. It might just be enough to keep us going." As the event continued, Lisa felt an overwhelming sense of unity wash over her. This wasn't merely a fundraiser, it was a revival, a heart-fueled declaration that they wouldn't be silenced. Each moment resonated with a joyful reminder of why they fought for this place, and just like that, the day became magical. They raised funds, but more importantly, they reclaimed their shared history, turning fleeting moments into lasting memories. They were all woven together, and Lisa finally realized that the dream she thought was out of reach had blossomed into something greater than she had ever envisioned. Tears streamed down her cheeks, but they were tears of joy. She found Tom again, their eyes locking, understanding swimming between them. He nodded, a silent promise that they would continue to support one another. Finally, the sun dipped low in the sky, casting a rosy hue over the diner as laughter began to die down. Lisa stood at the entrance, watching her community mingle, not as customers and staff, but as family bound by love and resilience, and in that moment, she felt solid ground beneath her feet, knowing that the weight of responsibility had shifted. Together, they had reclaimed their narrative, etching their stories into the heart of the diner. Life would continue to throw challenges their way, but they were stronger together. As Lisa took a breath, she knew it was time to move forward, to embrace the path ahead. The diner would thrive, just as their community would, standing together against whatever storms might come, and just before the last guests departed, Lisa gathered everyone at the door for one last huddle. "Thank you all for being here and lifting us up. Let us make our voices echo through every corner of this town." The chorus of agreement rang out, a celebration of hope, resilience, and togetherness. The future was bright, and they were ready to face it together. Now's the time for you to be a part of this journey. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you won't miss our next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and make sure others join our community. Tell us your reactions and feelings about this heartfelt ending in the comments. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting our channel through your actions.